Hello, welcome to the chaos of which is making a foam mold or base to pin stained glass pieces onto. There's going to be a content warning. There are knives that are shown and used in this. So this is take number I don't know, because I had technical issues with this recording and it's being a pain in the butt. But what I am currently doing here is I am doing paper mache. What does paper mache have to do with this? Well, I needed this kind of shape, but the diameter of this piece is way too big. Make my lampshade way too big. So I wanted this shape, but I needed it in a smaller circle size. So, we are piecing things together. Now this is 11:30 at night, and I am going to make an attempt to get this section of paper mache, because I needed about 4 of them for the diameter I needed, off of the foam block, which I was using as a mold. I am here questioning my existence because it is stuck on. I don't know if I can get this off. It is not budging, and I actually heard a crack there, and I was worried I had broken it and I would have to completely start over because this takes a while to dry. I actually did get it off. I now have an idea, which I probably should have started off with, to ensure that I did not have this issue. What this brilliant idea is Saran wrap. We are cling wrap, saran wrap, whatever you want to call it. I am putting a layer on this full mold so that I can easily remove it. So I learned quite a few things while making this. There were quite a few errors. This is version B 2.0. My original thought process was, I think cardboard. That was not going to work. Then we went to paper mache, and originally I think I was going to paper mache the entire thing, and then I was going to use, then 2.0 became cardboard involved and spray foam, actually, which is why it's version 2.0. The cardboard didn't get used, so I guess it ended up being version B 3.0 because cardboard was not evolved, but paper mache and spray foam was. I did learn my lesson in a few different points. I am currently making a bunch of paper strips, and then we jump to the next day. It looks like I have these a little bit... No, I do believe the saran wrap is actually on there. You just can't see it. I had to do 4 rounds of paper mache, waiting for them to dry in between, and then make this continuous thing, which I do believe the next clip is either me figuring it out that I can actually use scissors to cut this. We were concerned whether scissors would not be sharp enough or strong enough to cut through paper mache, hilariously as that sounds. Or it would actually crack and cause structural issues with the paper mache when cutting it into thinner strips, so I could then piece them together in the diameter that I want. Here we are with the fact of the matter of how we are attaching these strips. It seems I am missing me figuring out that I can actually cut these with scissors. The other option was, should these scissors fail, tin snips or a saw. So scissors worked great, thank goodness. You can see in the background there's another set drying. This is kind of what we're going for with the mold. As you can see, it is a bit janky. There is a crap ton of masking tape. Things are not at the same height, but it's fine. We are going with it. I am tired. I think this is probably day 4 or 5 of working with paper mache, and I am over it. As you can see, the bowl is a disaster. There is some strips of paper. It is a mess. Here I am making a lot more strips of paper and a lot larger strips, because what I am going to make an attempt to do is I am going to go around what I have in a layer, because I have to do this still in sections as it is a circle and circles are a pain in the butt, as well as I still have a section missing off of the foam dome that I have and am using as a base, and I am drinking coffee, which I drank a lot of during this project. The foam base that I am using as the circle size I want for my actual lampshade. It is very wobbly, as you can see, because I am missing part of one side, and so the weight is going to wobble, and it's going to make it very difficult for me to do, and I use the masking tape as a counterweight so that I can actually put this on. And I am hoping to do this to make it more sturdy, structurally sound, so that when I do the spray foam, it won't push against the mold and push it out of shape. I did not succeed. What I should have done, actually, besides doing the exterior, is I actually should have gone in on the inside of these strips and done that, because I did not perfectly seal this, and it was not strong enough, and when I did do the spray foam, it did push it out of shape, as well as it actually escaped through some of the gaps that were on the inside, which just pushed the exterior round of paper mache that I am doing here out of the way. I absolutely hated the texture of this. This sludge at this point is what this had become, even more so than the normal paper mache paste material. We are coming in and we are checking the spray foam here. I had put it in. It is dry on top, but it does have give, as you can see, so it's not fully dry on the middle. I did not record the process because I needed both hands. Now we are jumping to the dome that you saw previously was holding the paper mache strips. I realized that as the dome, the diameter is going to be the same, well, the shape is wrong. This is basically the size that I would like. So, this is where I put a bunch of masking tape on this dome and drew on it so I could get the pattern for my stained glass pieces. I am doing this one-handed with the dome held between my knees and an X-Acto knife in the other hand, because my pattern is a very organic shaped pattern, because I am working as a wisteria tree is this lampshade's inspiration. Unfortunately, it does not make making panels for the stained glasses pieces easy. So I needed to do this, and as you can see previously on this row of papers that I have taped together, I have put them together at the base. They're perfectly fitting at the base. Why I am doing this is because it is actually not tall enough of a lampshade. I have the skirt, basically a skirt, which is a straight edge, which continues down, so I needed to be able to draw that part of the pattern flat on the table. Well, I actually needed it to connect correctly to the pattern pieces I have drawn onto the dome. So that required me to do this amalgamation, as you can see there, of it fitting together so I can continue down. The first piece I cut took me 17 minutes, which is why you can see that I am very far through cutting these pattern pieces off, because it is much easier to do so with two hands than it is with one hand holding a camera. This was ridiculous. I am trying actually very hard here not to cut into the dome and to only cut the masking tape, which is a lot easier with two hands, yet again. And I am also cutting towards myself and talking with my hands with the sharp blade in my hand. Do not do this. This is a horrible idea. But yet here we are. I do not practice knife safety in this. Do not take after me. Do not do what I do. It is a horrible idea. I have no sanity. This is, I think, day 10 of this project. We are waiting for the foam to finish drying, I think, in this section. And sometimes the tape layers do not correctly stick together, which is why this was so painful. And so I actually turned around and labeled these sections A through K, I believe. A through M, actually, sorry. Minus F, because, and I'm trying to be very careful here, sorry, to not cut myself as I am cutting towards myself. Anyways, so A through M minus the letter F, because F is actually used to denote which pieces are going to be a purple flower piece. And I did not want to confuse myself, so when I actually made this pattern, they end up being labeled A through M minus the letter F, and then pieces are numbered throughout that so I can figure out what section I am working on. Because there are a lot of sections as this piece is round. There are many small panels to make it actually round and pinned onto the piece. I also have to get this off and stuck to these sheets of paper that are going to then become even larger as they become my pattern piece as the bottom edge gets added on. And of course it's not a straight edge, so I have a bit more work to do. I get to do this, you're going to see me talk about or gesture towards this piece. And as I'm pushing this piece on and aligning it, I am completely off camera. And so you'll see me pointing to this. This is the piece I'm going to have to adjust as it fits together correctly, but when laid flat, it actually overlaps with another piece. So when tracing this onto the heavier paper so that I can have a pattern to trace onto the glass, I actually have to move this. I'm pointing to that circle. It is not actually a glass piece, but it does get used when I put it on top of the actual dome I am using as the centerpiece. It is not a piece of glass, it is actually going to be the gap opening where the hardware for the lampshade goes in. I still have 2 or 3 more sections to cut off, I think. Actually, no, it looks like I only have really 1 more cut to make, and then I can peel those 2 off. I was very much close to the end at this point. And then we jump to the foam mold. As you can see, I have already taken to carving it. I didn't record from the very beginning because I was not sure that this was going to work or how well it would hold up. So you can see I've removed some paper mache, there was a lot of tape involved, and I am trying to carve this. Yet again, do not follow me in knife safety. I am cutting towards myself, I'm doing a horrible job of this. But I am not too concerned about making this perfect and perfectly shaped as you saw with the other dome that is professionally made, not with spray foam and hopes and dreams, simply because this is going to be a canopy of a tree, so I'm not too concerned about its organic shape. The bottom is also not flat, it actually expanded off the ground, so one thing I should learn is tape the thing down to high hell. And this is the aftermath of shaving this dome and making it the correct shape for my pattern pieces to sit on. This is not even about cutting the stained glass. This is the chaos of making this before I can even start.